So what's up, y'all? I'm here at SJU's campus for God Pod episode 5, and we got two godly men, two God-fearing men at SJU. Get the camera like what y'all names are.
So I'm John Council. Go to SJU. Obviously, I'm a sophomore, finance major. That's my like little elevator pitch. I feel like I get to everybody. What else? And that's pretty much everything.
Oh, all right. My name is Jalen Hawker. I'm a freshman. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, but now I go to St. Joe's. I'm excited to be on here. All my life been in the church, so I'm excited to have a conversation.
Nice. This is gonna be a good one. So, how do you guys meet?
Oh, so it's crazy because we just met recently, really. So here at SJU, we have orientation, which welcomes in the freshman students. And so every year there's a new team. This is my second year on the team. This is Jalen's first year on the team. So I say inducted kind of on the team maybe, a month and a half ago. So we've known each other for that long. But I don't know, it's crazy. When you meet other men of faith, it's kind of like you get a little closer with people, especially as a minority too on the team. You kind of get closer with people that way. So that's kind of how we met. Am I missing anything?
No. At least for me, getting to know people and getting to know minorities, black men. I heard John Councils pop up like John. I'm like, oh, who's John? And then I got to meet John, like ironically. So it was just like, okay, now I know who John is, and now I get to be in the organization with him and kind of get to start sharing experiences and sharing things.
Yeah, cause so how I met even John is he reached out to me like last week, and like you knew Bianca,
And Sarah and Sydney, all of
So I
them.
was like, it made it very easy. I was like, okay, we can do SJU men next. So yeah, let's go straight into the questions, y'all. So this is gonna be real uncensored, by the way, too. So why do you think Christian guys are so soft?
Okay, we getting into it.
Because I feel like us as men, we don't have like a backbone. I feel like we're allowing too much church. I mean, we're allowing too much in the church. We're allowing too much liberalism in the church. But what do you guys think?
Man, we didn't.
LGBTQ, abortions, we're accepting that. But is that what God or Jesus would allow or want for us?
I think something that we have to consider is society. The standards that we set. I think that's one thing that's probably the hardest, and I feel like around people my age is that it's hard to talk about things when society either one doesn't understand it or two kind of doesn't accept it. So you don't want to feel left out. You don't want to feel like somebody that's like doesn't belong or is out of place, especially at this age. Like at 20, 21, 19, that's not something like you want to feel. You don't want to feel left out. So sometimes we might conform to people's beliefs and just to make them feel comfortable, even though that's not what God said or God's way. And that kind of makes us softer because I feel like if we put our foot down, we're not going to get accepted. But really in the long run, that's really something the people around us need.
Oh,
that's a hard one.
This is a difficult question because I definitely, at least in my church and like the church as a whole, in the black church as a whole, I don't. First off, I don't think that there's been like more of like a gradient where like men kind of took a stand before and not now. I feel like it's kind of been like what has happened in the church is now coming to light. And it's being able to be surfaced more and be seen more what has happened in the past. I don't think this is a new thing. And it comes down to spiritual conviction. And this the new covenant love, that Jesus talks about. Because I do believe we put our foot down, but when we put our foot down, we then come with this spiritual correction, or that showing love, that even if you are this way, or even if you have done this stuff, that there is still a renewal, and there's still an ability to change and be changed by Christ. So I don't think men are soft, but I also think that when you're going through it in the process of conviction, you got to follow through and finish. So if we put our foot down now, we got to be able to stand in the room with correction.
I like that.
I like that. And going along with that, like I feel like us as men today, especially in Christianity, I feel like we're not going to God first for seeking like what we need. We go to what the world is saying, what they're doing. So just to go off what we just asked and what I asked you, like, why don't we just seek God first? Why aren't men seeking God first and just the things that they're experiencing in life?
I think for me, and I don't want to generalize and be like all men. So I'm gonna speak for me and see whoever relates. I don't understand. Like, I'm just be honest, I don't understand some things. Sometimes, like growing up, reading the Bible, being in King James, try to go over to the message and try to make it more simpler. I don't get it sometimes. And I try to watch sermons to break it down, the understanding sometimes, but it could be confusing. But I'll tell you what's not confusing: a TikTok popping up and explaining it to me, or an Instagram page explaining something that is going on in life. And it's just like, oh, I see that you're a guy, you're relating to me, so I'm gonna listen to you. But this book, and I'm not disrespecting the Bible, but this book, it's like, I don't get it. Like, it's confusing, but the Instagram isn't, TikTok isn't, because they break that algorithm down for us to understand. So it's like I feel like that's why we fall into that so easily, because it's easy to understand, but people don't want to take the time to understand the Bible. And I think that's the hardest thing. And I think that's something I'm focusing on right now. And it's hard to really break down and really get into the Bible and understand it and go to people and be like, okay, I didn't get this. Like who is this person? Who is David? What is his story? And because once you start reading, you'll see, oh, he's doing the things I'm doing. He did the things I did
3,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's like,
if you really took the time to understand it, I really think it would be a lot easier, and it would really relate to people's message right now and what they're going through in their season. But it's hard. It can be confusing. It can be a lot. It can be challenging.
Yeah. Yeah. I said, like, why don't we go to God first? You feel me?
I think that the issue is, for at least men, and even black men in general, we create this notion, or we try to create this like visualization of God based on like what we view a man and how we view our fathers. Mm-hmm. And even so, like going back, if you did something wrong, mm-hmm. who's the last person you're going to tell? Not just for reason being that you don't want to let it out, or you want to hide it, but also the fact that you feel that overwhelming shame and the overall punishment. So as a man, when we're told to stay strong and hide these things, then why would it make us want to go back to God, essentially?
Yeah. One more thing to add to that, like, I just thought about, like, I feel like we're really a solution-based society. When we have a problem, we need a solution. Because nobody wants to sit in their problem. Nobody wants a problem. So when a problem arises, we need a solution. But to me and my understanding of God, that's not how he works. Like, you need to sit in your sin, in your problem, and I'm going to hold your hand and guide you out of it. Because I'm not just going to give you a solution. Okay, just go do this. You're going to be all right. Because where's the faith behind it? You get what I'm saying? So, like, where's the faith at? Because if I just give you a solution, you're going to think this is a transactional love, a transactional relationship. It's not that. I'm going to put you through the situation, hold your hand, and show you your imperfections and help you get out of that. So I think that's sometimes why we don't run to God as men and as a society, because we just want to get out of it. Like, we just want a solution and we just want to run. But no, God will show us more than that. Like, you will have a problem. He will guide you to the solution, but also bring something out of you, show you that you're not perfect. He will break down some things, some stereotypes you have within yourself. So I think that's why.
And I also want to speak on that because I believe this goes to my next question. Like, I believe like life is better with Christ. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, not even just TikToks, but just people in general who've changed their life completely. They just look better. You know, they're glowing, their skin's glowing. Their life, they're not committing so many sins. They're not as wicked just because they believe in Christ. And this goes to my next question is, like, how do you know that God is real? Because that's one of the signs that I know that God is real. When you see people change just because Jesus Christ is alive and giving them the spiritual nourishment that they need through the word and just through his actions. But, like, how do you guys know that God is real in your life?
I think for me, one way I know God is real, and I think it's something that I'm dealing with now, honestly, that I know he's real, but sometimes it's hard to hear from him, know his presence is really there. I see the things now happening in my life that I prayed for years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, when I was going through harder things. I see I see that he's really working. To give an example behind that, last year, yeah, I'll say about last year, I was struggling through something really hard, and I needed community around me. I didn't feel like I had community, or the community that I really wanted to push me forward. And I prayed about it, cried about it, all that stuff. And sometimes I feel I still don't have that community. But one day I was sitting, I'm a manager for the women's basketball team, and they sat in the circle. The seniors were about to graduate, and the coach just kind of gave her nuggets and her love to all the seniors and everything that they did in the past 4 or 5, however long years that they've been there. And I was sitting there and I was listening, and I was just like, wow, like, I really love this team, but sometimes I'm like, this is challenging. This is hard work. Like, I'm a manager, like, I got to travel and all that stuff. But I just sat there and I was really in the presence, and I was like, they love each other. Like, they really love each other, and they bring me in here and they love me too. And they show that love to me. And I was just sitting there, like, I was about to cry. Like, the coach wasn't even talking to me. And I was just about to cry because I was like, I really pray for things like this. Like, I prayed for things like this a year ago, 2 years ago, for good community. And the community is around me. And I just really was like, oh my God, like, thank you, Jesus. Like, thank you. Because it's like, I was patient. I wanted to run. I wanted to not be here. I wanted to, like, I didn't want to, I just didn't understand. And it was just like, wow, like, it's right in front of me. I just need to change my perspective. Like, that's all. Like, I feel like that's the key to life. Just change your perspective on things. It's like, it's right here. He's blessing you right in this moment. Just change the perspective. And I think, like, that was just a really good prime example, where I really felt like his presence and, like, thank you. Just saying thank you, God.
Yeah, I spoke on it one time, that even though the sun's not shining in your direct vision, doesn't mean that the sun's not shining.
I like that.
I think one of the big things for me is going off of community. I think God puts people in people's lives for certain reasons at certain times for certain things. And some people are just there and you pass by. Some people are there to teach you a lesson. God telling you, yeah, you got to get yourself together. And then there's people that stay in your lives and shape your lives and mold you to make you the person of faith that you are supposed to be. I think that it's not even just God alone, but God putting his Holy Spirit in people to kind of intercede on our behalf on earth so that his will could be done. And I think the second thing for me, like with the story, like throughout this year, I think God has shown even more his realness to me through grace. I'm a detail-oriented person. I like things done a certain way, but I'm not a micromanager. I just like things done a certain way. And sometimes people don't understand that, or people try to get under that or usurp that. And learning grace and understanding how God has shown me grace has been able to show how he's real to me, that even though somebody could be trying to take my plan down, me showing grace calms my spirit and helps me be able to figure out how to do it with God and let God do his thing.
Man, those are those are mind-blowing answers. The next question is belief. So to believe in Jesus, the original Hebrew believe, not only means to accept, but to actually like give your life for, right? So when they mention believe in Jesus, a lot of people think that, if I believe in Jesus, I'm saved. No, you gotta give up your life for Jesus. You know, that's what the text in Hebrew is pretty much saying. But like, how do you guys give up your life, or how do you guys serve others or live like Jesus in your life currently?
I think the way, and essentially was a question like, how do we show God in our lives right now to other people? How do you live like that? I'm just gonna go off of what you were saying earlier, because I really think I live out that grace. Because sometimes I'm be so honest, like I just want to pop off on people. like I just want to pop off on people. Like you just did me dirty. I didn't like what you just did to me. I want to pop off. Like I want to say some things I shouldn't be able to say. I want to do some things I'm not allowed to do. But it's just like, no, like you give that person grace, you give that person mercy. And just, I feel like the best way, if I had to give advice to somebody our age, of how they can live out Christ on their every day, is just be there for people. Like take the extra step to be there for people. Ask them how they're doing. If you hear that they're struggling with something, I'm in this difficult relationship. I did bad on tests. Even as I did bad on tests, just check up. Hey, how you doing? Or if you see them in a week later, or you have their phone number, just text them. Hey, I heard you were dealing with this. How's it going? Just insert those simple principles into your life, and I really feel like you can really live out how God truly is and how it can fit in your life. And I feel like it's just that simple. And I think I try to live out that best way as possible. I just try to talk to many people I can talk to, get to know as many people as I can, be nice to as many people. And I'm not perfect. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect. I make mistakes. I personally think too many mistakes, but that's just me being hard on myself. But I just try to show up and be there for people and take the time to sit down and have conversations with people, because you're not busy enough to sit down and have a conversation with somebody. I don't like when people do that. Like when they say like, oh, I'm too busy, I'm too this, like da da da. You're not, because I see you on your phone on Instagram. Yeah, it's what you decide to make time for. So it's like, if you're on your phone on Instagram, why can't you just send a text, be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, can you go get Starbucks? Can we go get, just make the time. And I think that simple step is, man, you are living above you're already living above so many people with that simple step, but you're also living in Christ.
Before you answer, Jalen, so going along with that, like, I agree. Like with text messages, I was telling Manny too, but like that's how I show my love for you, or that I care, because I respond to texts like that. Because even with what I do for work, like if somebody is in danger and I take 2 hours to respond, that could be somebody's life right there. So I'm not playing games with nobody. I respond as quick as possible. There's no like, oh, manipulation involved. Like it's just all self-love and care. But yeah.
Y'all are better than me. I'm working on my texting skills. My communication is kind of raggedy, but either way, Jesus kind of talks about it in the gospel. In this one excerpt, the Pharisees are asking him why he's sitting with everyone at the table, and everyone meaning just everyone, anybody who was at the table. And he said, "I didn't come I didn't come for the saved, but I came to bring the sinners to repentance."
He didn't come to judge. He came to save.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least for me, how I show my belief is, I can't come with a judgmental heart. In realizing that each and every person that I meet, I may potentially have an impact on. And granted, I've had my times where I've messed up my impact. But the lowest of lows in life, even if somebody is an addict or somebody is suffering from homelessness or something, these are the same people that are humans. They're children of God who've fallen a little bit from grace, and I believe that if we want to be like Jesus, we have to be there to help them and to pick them up and to show the love of God, which is just showing humanity to them. And I think that's what being like Jesus is. Jesus knew we weren't perfect, and I know that I'm not close to it, but I'm not even deserving to be a servant of him. So if I can be able to show my testimony of being who I am and being raised by the people that I was raised by, I can do the same for somebody and just help one person get right with God.
And that's perfect. I want to speak on like how just treating anybody like how Jesus would treat them, because what did Jesus say? The first will be last, and the last will be first. You feel me? So if you treat somebody who's homeless like trash, you're treating God like trash, because God is within every one of us. You feel me? And I like that. And I feel like that's something that we all as men, especially, and women, just people of this generation should take into consideration. Like even today, I was in a train and there was a homeless person I could have gave. She asked for money, but I completely forgot I had food, and I just felt so bad. But just seeing people who are homeless, people who don't have stuff, like being able to be generous and help them out a little bit goes a long way, because they're God's people, and if we was in that situation, we want people to help us as well. But the next question is, I believe like fearing the Lord is one of the biggest problems of today's society. That we don't fear the Lord, and constantly you see in the Israelites, people not fearing the Lord, what happens? They get cooked.
Essentially. Yeah.
So why don't we? So no. What is one problem in society that you think that men are struggling with? That is like just bringing us down as men in general.
I mean, I know we're gonna talk about it, but lust.
Yep, that's what I wanted to say.
Evident, like it's just like, and it sucks because it's like, I don't like when people think that they're the only person going through the struggle. You know, because it gets so dark, and I think the devil loves to play with us, like with that. That it gets so dark that you think you're the only person dealing with it, when the person sitting right next to you might be dealing with the same exact thing. And if you were to come into community, you could get through it together. But I think that's the number one thing. And nothing around us helps. TikTok doesn't help. Snapchat, Instagram. I don't want to get into it too crazy, but it's just like, and I'm not digging anybody. I'm not digging women as a whole, but they don't help either. And it's not saying that they should help. It's just a matter of like, everything around us is just pushed. Yes, exactly. Over sexualized, over pushed, over stimulating. So it's like, to break that as a man is one, if you ever have, you're listening to this and you ever have, congrats. That is amazing. Don't ever let anybody downplay that. And if you're struggling with it now, seek community, get help, because I'm in it right now. I'm being completely honest, and I'm trying to find community to get help with that, because I know that's my biggest vice right now, is lust. And it's hard. It's really hard to deal with it, because like we said, everything around it, it pushes us down. So I think that's like one thing that's like really hard for men to deal with in this society.
Yeah, I agree. Everything that he said. But I think that, like, in this world, this technological world, you can get everything that you want in an instant, in one snap of the finger. So you could even say, like, it's instant pleasure. You can get what you want whenever you want, however you want, in a split second. And you know, at this point, and for me, John talked about it, we start valuing 15 seconds of pleasure for a lifetime of suffering.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's built into who we are, but there is, and we've been shown a new way to go about it, and a new way to get better. And I think that that's the encouraging part as the community, and being able to say no. God gave us opportunities to say no, and no doesn't always just mean saying no. But I see this, I gotta turn my phone off. I'm in this room and it's getting a little bit heavy. I need to step out.
Yeah.
There's ways to get past it, and ways to beat not just lust, but greed and addiction and all of these things.
Job talks about it in the book of Job, but he made a covenant with his eyes to never look at a woman lustfully. You feel me? And the problem is that today, I could literally be on Instagram just scrolling. What do you see? You see a TikTok girl, you feel me? Or you just see somebody like with leggings or whatever, you feel me? And it's all over, you feel me? I have a lot of godly content on my IG, you know what I'm saying? Because I subscribe to a lot of, or follow a lot of biblical content. But like, it's all over. The access to millions of women and people has never been done in any other generation but today. So there's a lot of overstimulation. I definitely agree with that. How do I go about this? So we're all single, right? But
I got a girlfriend.
oh, you have a girlfriend? I never even asked that. Yeah, so he has a girlfriend. That's on me. He actually has a girlfriend.
I can't get caught.
Yeah. Of course. I'm saying.
So relationships, what I find is a big problem is people don't put God first in their relationships. But that's why I think the divorce rate is high. But why do you guys think the divorce rate is so high in this generation?
I mean, okay. Yeah.
No, I think you hit on it. Shoot, I've had experiences where I did not put God first, and I put my own wants first. And I can see, and you can kind of see in a relationship when that starts to demean. And that's something that I'm working on in my relationship now, learning how to put God in the relationship, praying and saying no to things that God doesn't want, and instead, having a discussion and talking, and then and bringing up God, and starting to make space in a cluttered room for God to work and do his thing. I think that's the big thing for me.
I think, like, well, one, obviously, it's just that God is not in a relationship. Also, like we said, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, social media as a whole. But I think another thing that I think about, and maybe it really pertains to me, I'm not sure if it pertains to men as a whole, and it might, is that I don't think that men, I don't even know, because I want to tread lightly, but at the same time I don't, take their life serious. And I don't mean to, like, put anybody down. I really don't. But if you understood what your role is in a relationship and how much you play a part in the environment that you set for your woman, and if you really knew, I think you would take your life a little bit more serious.
Yes. That's facts.
That's in
Like we're talking about divorce right now. I mean, that's in marriage, but it's like now, it's like, why are you not taking your life serious? Do you know how blessed you are? Do you know what you're capable of? Like, why are you not taking your life serious? And I fall from it too. I mean, like, I sit in my bed, I rot, watch movies, scroll, and it's like, dude, like, you are blessed to wake up this morning. Take your life serious. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many people that are in so much worse places than you that pray and will give up anything just to be where you are. So take your life serious. And I think that's just another thing. Also, I don't think, like, men know, like I said, like, their role in a relationship, like how important it is to set up an environment for a woman where she could be vulnerable, where she could be herself, where she could be in her feminine nature. And I think that's where we start to get more. I know you talked about this with the girls podcast, masculine women. I think that's where the masculine women come from, is that it's the men not setting the environment for a feminine woman. So it's like, I think it's just a matter of, like I said, men not knowing how important their spot is and taking their life serious.
Man, he hit it on a nail. Cause I was talking to the women, and I don't know if you watched the whole John, but they talked about how they wanted, like, a tall, dark, handsome man. You know what I mean? I told him, like, first of all, it's hard to find a tall, dark, handsome man because we're not tall, dark, and handsome. Like, one of us is tall, one of us is dark. I don't know if it's, if the girls perceive us as handsome or not. You know what I mean? But it's harder to find a godly man, in my opinion, than a godly woman. And I think it has to do with, like, just women being in tune with themselves spiritually. It was so hard to find, like, any godly men at LaSalle SU to do videos with, because I was like, where they at? You feel me? But I see a lot more women, and now I see what the women are dealing with. I don't think men realize, like, their roles, like he said, with providing, serving, loving each other. In Ephesians 5, man, loving and serving each other. You feel me? Jesus, in my opinion, was the most masculine man in terms of he was willing to sacrifice himself for those that he loved. You feel me? And us as men, first of all, we gotta have a purpose, right? We gotta be willing to sacrifice, and we just gotta be able to provide. That way the woman can be in her feminine nature. You know what I mean? But last question, this is a short one. The last question is, what makes a God-fearing man to you?
And before, like, I hit on that, I just kind of thought about something. I know, like the girl said, they want somebody that's tall, dark, and handsome. But it's like, my thing is, like, why is that the standard? Like, tall, dark, and how come it's not, he takes his life serious,
right?
Like, why is it tall?
Yeah.
How come
it's not like integrity, self-worth, and self-control? Like, why is it not? Like, why is it not that? Why is it not that? But it's like, maybe it's like, and I can't blame them either. I know as guys, like, sometimes we look for things that, shouldn't. It's not. We have our own tall, dark, and handsome version for women. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the men around us agree, and nobody wants to say, well, no, I want a woman that's this, and this. And they're like, bro, stop, bro. You want the girl with the, you know what I'm saying, with the body, with the, like, nah, bro. Like, I don't.
But anyway, last question is, like, what do you guys look for, or no, what do you guys think is a God-fearing man, like a biblical man? What are the traits, values that they exude? And yeah.
All right, I'm gonna think about it a little. You want to hit first?
All right. Ooh, you gave me the mic.
I know.
Now it's like I'm starting to put stuff together. And I don't want to go no spiel, but I think when we first look at what a God-fearing man is, we then have to look at what is God. And I think a lot of men, I think I talked about this earlier, a lot of men envision God as, they envision him as strong and mighty and powerful and all protecting. And men only see that part and only bring that part into relationships. And I think because for so long they only brought that part, then I think that some women created a standard, and that standard was that strong, protecting man. But then we look at God a little bit more in the Bible, and God is not just that strong protector, but he's kind, he's caring, he's loving, he's detailed. He listens and just doesn't demand. He controls, but he's not micromanaging. And I think that when we're looking at a God-fearing man, we have to view the whole 360 and realize that if we're going to be strong and we're going to be powerful and we're going to be the protector, that we also have to be vulnerable. We have to be living in grace, in love, kindness, and caring. We can't just be this toxic male archetype that tries to care for nothing and
You see it everywhere.
and try to just prove how manly they are, but living in humility and serving others and serving their partner, their woman as in equal nature.
Love that. I love that. I think for me, so I'm gonna plug something real quick. A church that I watch, it's not my home church, but a church that I love is called Social Dallas. It's in Dallas, and he has a sermon where he talks to men. It's called "Act Like a Man," and he just strictly talks about what the Bible. No, see now I can't place the name. No, Robert Madu. That's the pastor, and he strictly just talks about in that sermon. I think it's about 50 minutes. I think I've seen it like 30 times. I just walked to class and I just put on. But it's about what in the Bible talks about what a man is, and he breaks it down into about like 7 categories. And he breaks down what a man should be, a godly man should be. And I think one thing that I really took from it is a man in Christ should be watchful. And I'm not talking about looking around, but watching everything you do and everything that you let into your life, in your eye gate, your ear gate, what comes out of your mouth, how do you treat people. You're watchful of all that, because you know that your role as a man and the things that you do has substance. It has substance. And you have the ability to transform things. Not saying women don't, but men, you are just able to really control things. So yes, exactly. So you being watchful, and something that I always think about is whatever's not transformed is transferred. So if you think that the things that you do won't affect your life in 20 years, you are mistaken. And I'm not talking about the little things. I'm talking about how you talk, how the things that you watch. Like, for example, like if you get mad and you lash out and you curse people, you curse at people, that might be your friends, that might be your guys. That's cool. But it's not cool when you're doing it to your wife. It's not cool when you're doing it to your daughter, because then that creates insecurities for them. And then whatever, like I said, it's not transformed, meaning it's not changed within you. It's transferred to somebody different. So, like I said, just back to the beginning, it's like you gotta take their life serious. Like I that just really speaks to me. And like men just gotta be watchful, be mindful of everything that you do today, because what you do today has implications for tomorrow. So just remember that.
And for me, what makes a biblical God-fearing man? Obviously, the fear of the Lord. What they say, I forgot what Proverbs, but the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Number 2, loving each other as you would yourself. And then number 3 is just having a purpose. You know, every guy should have like a purpose and know what they should want in their life. That way, the women could help and follow them in their purpose. You know, and that's just what I believe. But like I said, most importantly is fear of the Lord. But yeah, that's to me what makes a God-fearing man, and that's their answers. And I just want to have a special shout out to John and Jalen for responding and getting back to me as soon as possible, because I wanted to do a video at SJU And it was hard, like I said, to find godly men. And he hit me up and was wanting to do a video with me. So that's a blessing in itself. That was God, like God did.
It really, nah,
Crazy.
it really was. It's crazy how that came about.
Yeah, so I know you had a lot to talk about today, and you got the chance to release that and talk about it. So, but yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe. I'm gonna have more content like this soon. This is very, very relieving for me.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, definitely. I would love a women and men's edition.
Oh yes,
because that would be the side by side would be crazy.
So hope you guys enjoyed.